Okay, here is a speed run of the Cribbage Excel Esports case. I'm going to use some lambdas and VBA that you could download at the link in the description. All right, so first I'm going to grab these symbols on the left, and I've got a pre-made lookup table here that takes the symbols and turns them into points. Although that is set up, it's not quite set up for cribbage yet, because in cribbage eighths is only worth 1 point, right? I have this set up as like if it was for some other game. So you look up that on that, sum it all up. That should be level 1. All right, now for this, I'm going to use my selections custom user-defined function, which can be used for like permutations and combinations. In this case, they are combinations, right? Because the order does not matter. So selections from this array, the order does not matter, repeats are not allowed, and we're going to turn on countdown mode. Oh, and I'm going to pick 3 to start with. Okay, so those are hands of 3, 2, 1. That's what countdown mode does. It gives you the combinations of 3, combinations of 2, combinations of 1. So these are the cards. I'm going to use some colors just as guides for myself here. So there's 5. Here is another, here's another 5 rows. I only need 3 for this problem, but I know eventually I'm going to need 5, so I'm going to leave room for 5 cards and use these colors as like a little guide for myself. So I need to know the cards, I need to know the symbols on the cards, I need to know how many points each card is worth, and I need to know the sequence that they make, right? And make these all a little smaller there. So left of this whole array is the symbols, right? So if it's 10, then I just use 1 to represent 10. So I look up this array of symbols on, the card table, returning the number of points there. And if it's blank, we'll just, use the blank there. And then the same thing for column I is the sequence. All right, and to remind myself what the cards are, I'm just gonna grab this little bit of instructions here. I'm gonna paste it up here so I don't have to flip back and forth. All right, so I can score with the 15, right? So I just take the sum of all the points, right? And if that sum is 15, I get 2 points, otherwise I don't. Pairs, right? So if the count, I need something that will always be numbers. These points will always be numbers. So if that is 2, right? And, right, I need an and here. And so if there's exactly 2 cards in this combination, and the symbol of the first one, not the points, it's like queen and jack aren't a pair. But if the symbol of the first one matches the symbol of the second one, then I get 2 points for that because it's a pair. And then a run of 3 cards, right, is a little bit similar to the pair formula, right? Because I need there to be 3 cards. I need, I'm going to use my isUnique lambda, which just looks to see if that array, if all the elements are unique. So if that is unique and the maximum of this minus the minimum of this has to be 2, right? So like if the sequence is 4, 5, 6, right, then 6 minus 4 is 2, right? So if all that's true, that means it is a run of 3 cards and you get 3 points for a run of 3 cards. That should be all that is possible for the 3 card hand. So add these up. And let's see if I include, there's a couple zeros there. Are those right? No, yeah, they're right. Okay. So let's move on to level 3. Now we're going to have a 4th card, right? So bring in a 4th card here. Now I need combinations of 4, 3, 2, and 1. This all updates automatically because I use the whole array. And there's 2 more hands that are now possible, right? So a run of 4 is now possible. So I take my formula for a run of 3, and I say, well, there's got to be 4 cards. The difference between the highest and lowest is now 3, and it's worth 4 points, not 43 points. And then finally, a flush is now possible. So what? Right of these is the suits. And I need a column of these because I want to use unique, and unique only works with columns. So I do unique to call that, right? So those are the unique suits, right? So the number of rows of that, if all that is 1, right? If there's only 1 unique suit, then that is a flush of 4 cards, which is worth 4 points. All right. And there's a special rule for runs, right? So I'm going to put my best run. If you have a run of X plus 1 cards, then the run of X cards does not count, right? You can't count your run of 3s if you have a run of 4. So I'm going to sum up all my points for run of 4 and run of 3. And then if run of 4 is positive, right, then run of 4, otherwise run of 3. So that's my best run. So if these are a little too big, right? So the sum of the 15s and the pairs, right? And my best run, and if there's a flush, I get a flush. That should probably be all my possibilities here for level 3, and it is. So for level 4, I'll bring these in a bit here. Now we've added a 5th card, right? So doing 5 cards. Need to include that card in the range. Let's flush over here for a second. I need to account for a run of 5 cards because all 5 cards could make a run. So in that case, there would have to be 5 cards, and the difference between the biggest and the smallest has to be 4, and you get 5 points for a run of 5 cards. The flush, in this case, it says treat the cut card as a regular card, so that means only 5 card flushes count, and it's worth 5 points. So 4 card flush does not count in this level because we're treating the cut card as if it was any other card. All right, and then put this in here. It's got to be some of that. The best run, the possibility of a flush. Now my best run includes run of 5, right? So if I have a run of 5, then I need the sum too, and I bet I need to go farther down too. Yep. So that's run of 5, 4, 3. So ifs, right? So if this is positive, then this one. If this is positive, then this one. Otherwise, the last one. All right. So now that and all of that added together should be the points for each hand. Missed something. So let's look on number 52. 52. What should this person be getting? They have a run, right? 10, 9, Jack is a run of 3 cards. Do they also have a run of 4 cards? No, because they don't have a queen or an 8. So what is this? Yeah, no, this is messed up. All right, so a run of 4 cards. Ooh, that means, well, I mean, these are all right, so I'm not going to mess with that one. But a run of 4 cards is going needs to be based on, X, right? X, not B. Yeah, I forgot to grab the last card, right? So these are all X's. This now goes all the way to, well, this one goes all the way to X. That one was supposed to go to W. All right, so this goes all the way to X. This one just goes to W. And let's try it now. All right, there's level 4, correct. Okay, level 5. So now copy over level 4. I'm going to do level 5 because level 5 we got 2 players, right? But I'm going to do this as a 2-dimensional what if table, right? So based on my answer over here, and this is player 1 and player 2, right? So player 1, right? So if it's player 1, what? This first card is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then that's the cut card. So filter this array based on this array being equal to the player number I have selected. And then everybody gets the cut card. So now this is the hand for player 1. You know, if I switch it, I get the hand for player 2. This is the cut card no matter what. The flush rule is going to change though. Because you can have a 5-card flush, you can also have a 4-card flush based on not the cut card counting, right? So here, if the cards, except for the cut cards, are all the same suit, you get 4 points for that. And you can't get both of these, right? So best flush is, you know, the maximum of this and this. So now this has got to be your 15s and your pairs, your best run, your best flush. That is for player 1, right? The example is 4 for player 1, or no, for player 2. Player 1 is 6, 6 plus 4 is 10. So the example is right at least. Let's see if the others are right. So the column input cell is the normal lookup here, and the row input cell is my player number. All right, and then the answer is the sum of these, right? So both points, both players together, right? How many points are scored between the 2 players? So if I take this and put it in here, we are done with level 5. We should have 1,000 points so far, and we'll do bonuses. Most prevalent suit in games 1 to 100. So let's say if I do right of this down to here, those are my suits, right? So grab them all and use my frequency table subroutine. 158 is the most prevalent. How many games did these pairs occur? Well, for that, I'm going to use, instead of the suits, I'm going to use the symbols because that's going to determine the pairs, right? Not a billion times though, just once. So left like that, right? So now let's say what? Count if this on itself, right? I have to do this differently for 3, 4, and 5 cards, right? So I don't want to count the blanks as like unique blanks. Can I move both of these? Not like that. S. T. So from Q to T. And this next one's going to be Q to V, right? So this is, you know, the frequencies of each card, right? These ones are 10s, right? So, you know, that's a pair there. Then for the 5-card ones, it goes to there, that. And then now for each of these, right? So if the maximum of this is greater than 1, then that game has a pair or better in it, which is what the question's asking for. Okay, and you see at the bar here, we have 21 of those. These, though, we got to handle separately because this we got to deal with the dealing to player 1 and 2. All right, so there's 21 so far going into level 5. So I'm going to add 21 plus whatever we get from level 5. So now this is going to be, bonus 3 part 2. And I've already got 21 from the previous levels, but for this level, instead of giving you say you gave me all these points, all I care about is pairs, right? So I'm going to give you points for pairs and nothing else. Oops. Give you points for pairs and nothing else. And now if I take the maximum of these, right? Because how many games had at least one player that had a pair is this, and then count if this is greater than 0, right? So 21 of those add together for 2. Highest single hand score, which occurs for a single player. That's much easier than the last bonus if we have this all solved. So the highest score in level 4, right, is just the maximum of these answers, which is 12. And the maximum in level 5 is, I'll bet it's that 14. Let's see, is here. 14. Stop. Thank you for watching. See you next time.